Hello again, class. This next video is a follow-up from my last introductory video. What we're going to do is we're going to let the cat out of the bag. Pun intended. If you enjoy them. If not, you can roll your eyes as you please. So, as mentioned before, specimen here on our tray. We're going to find the vacuum seal here at the top. We're going to go ahead, just using scissors, and open that as close to the vacuum seal as you can get. We want to keep as much of the bag as possible so that when we close things up, there's enough that we can get some rubber bands around there and get a good seal and keep as much oxygen out of there as possible. So, now that we have that opened, I'm just going to separate that out. You'll see that there is some fluid in here. And as that vacuum seal dissipates, there is a fair amount of fluid. The first time we do this, I'm actually going to lift it. Make sure that you're not dumping all of that fluid out on the bag, or out on your tray, because it will require more for you to clean up. You're just going to reach in the bag, grab a paw or two, slide it out of the bag, and onto your tray. So there's our specimen, and as you can see, there's a fair amount of fluid there in the bag. We're going to go ahead and dump that just because it does prevent making messes later on. For now, I'm just going to set it off to the side, get it out of the way, and hope that I don't tip it over myself. You will see that the first time out of the bag, there is a fair amount of fluid, a fair amount of preservative to the on the specimen. It will leak out. We'll get that cleaned up a little bit later. And so again, as you see, specimen. With this particular specimen, you'll see that there is an incision made here in the neck. There's also the incision made down here in the thigh. Both of those are for latex injection. They're also good places to start when we get to skinning the cat, and I'll get to that in a later video. As mentioned before, this particular specimen is a female specimen. You'll notice that, yes, the tongue is projected, the eyes are slightly open. And for those of you that are a little uncomfortable with that, I have had some students in the past that just take a paper towel and they cover up the head so that they don't have don't have to look at it from that end. That's entirely up to you. I find it doesn't bother me at all, so I'll leave it uncovered for the purpose of our videos. Just another quick side note. As we go through this, I know that initially, for the first time, a number of students do get apprehensive. I find that dissipates fairly quickly as we get going. As mentioned, a lot of people affiliate this with a pet that they may have had, or cat lovers, whatever it may be. Once we get into the dissection, once we get the skin off, once we get working through things, you really sort of get a disconnect. And I have students that are apprehensive at first that don't really want to get into the dissection. But I find that those students do work through it fairly quickly. I have other students that are extremely excited about getting into dissection, and once they actually get to this point, it sort of hits them, and they're not as comfortable as they would think. Either way, all of the students I've had have made it through the dissection unit with fairly little problem. And I'm confident in your abilities to work through this, and don't have any concerns. If you do have concerns as you're going, please let me know, and I will do what I can to help alleviate any anxieties or stresses that you have, and we can talk through it as well. So we will move on in our next video. We'll get to the skinning procedure, but again, I wanted to just show you how we get it out. Again, as we put it away, you'll do basically the opposite. Usually grab the upper or the forelimbs, holding it upright, having your partner hold the bag open so that you can slide it back in. Most of the time we will do a quick spray with preservative just to make sure that we maintain the specimen for as long as possible.